It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Fade that, nigga. Shit. Bet the bar. Off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What? You got to have vision.
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
You knew I was crazy. Why would you do stuff to make me act crazy, then complain about me being crazy when you knew I was crazy?
This shit is crazy.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slop.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a lot. I just left a lot in this bitch.
Yeah, well. Gotta get a piece of my.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Joe Visa. He looked down, seen his feet, the nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply.
In about 4.
First you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well then, stick to your word. And let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children. We're big men. I've seen my father have to put up with all kinds of stuff. He was a big man. He raised a family. He went down south, and he had to go around to the back door with his wife. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for any favors. All we want is what's ours. Now, there are many black veterans who are coming back, and they're mad. They're angry. Do you think that they're going to sit down through this? Our fathers didn't have the knowledge that we had. They sat through it. But there are other black youth that are not going to sit through it. We know about Che. We know about Fanon. We've read the books of our revolution. We've listened to Mao and his quotations. We know where we stand. We're not going to sit for it. We're asking, and if we ask and we don't get, we're prepared to stand up and take it. If I ask a man, I tell a man I am hungry. I tell him I am cold. And I ask him to do something about my condition. And this man holds a loaf of bread right in front of me so I can see it, and I keep asking him, I'm begging him to please give me a slice of the loaf of bread. I am hungry. Then it is known by every psychologist that the next step in the progression is I am going to knock him upside the head and take the bread from him. I'm not going to starve to death.
Physical and mental torture. But that's all right, because we said even before this happened, and we're going to say it after this, and after I'm locked up, and after everybody's locked up, that you can jail revolutionaries, but you can't jail a revolution. Right. You might run a liberator like Eric Cleave out the country, but you can't run liberation out the country. You might murder a freedom fighter like Bobby Hutton, but you can't murder freedom fighting. And if you do, you come up with answers that don't answer. The party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs. That's what the Panthers are doing. That's what the Panthers are doing all over the world.
What's all that noise? Oh, that's just Daddy.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
Some people, they feel like you almost have to sell your soul to get fame, or is it just hard work, or is it luck, is it consequence, is it?
No, most of us in sold our soul. We just call it something else. Hmm.
the Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And then the Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
Come with baggage, just I asked Louis was on. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that. Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right here.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it.
I think we OD. I think we OD. To my word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. That's the difference when you're my. You got.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the dude. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I hit the loot juice. It pulls up in the deuce.
I guess you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
No idea the condition that we're in, the psychoneurosis that we suffer. We suffer a terrible, terrible blight. We don't know who we are. We use European names, and we just are comfortable with our condition. We really don't know who we are. We have no idea. We're captive, and we absolutely comfortable with this situation.
Do that dance. Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out.
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, all the fun and games is over, and let me get to it. Let me send this out, though. Let's see if y'all can hear this. All right. Nothing but high vibrations for everybody. Nothing but high vibrations. Who's joining the motherfucker tonight? Blue Marvel, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
PJ Allen, my man from Japan.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
A lot of Negroes on NegroTube don't want to clean themselves up. A lot of Negroes don't want to clean themselves offline either. Well, I hear that. You got to bump that current song with the whip. You got to bump that currency song with the whip. Benji, what's happening? Was it Benji? A. HH990.
You can't get too close to my voice of fire.
Brown Lee.
You can't get too close to my voice of fire.
Dr. Sinister.
You can't get too close to my voice of fire.
What's happening, everyone? Glorious day. This is Pick Wednesday. And so, I got my picks this week. Last week, I did win on Monday night. So I end up going 12-2, and I am 110. What is this? I am 110 and 52. 110 and 52. I went 12-2 last week. So, but I've been pretty consistent. I think 9-5 or 7-5 is my worst week. So, getting a little bread, making the picks, and and it's funny. Like if you if you like a real gambler and you follow it, it's like they do plays. They definitely do plays to like fuck up the over and under. You see teams trying when they don't want to try. What happens when a basketball game usually ends? What happens? They just dribble the timeout. But do you know how often? I got one earlier this year where the Timberwolves shoot a three. With 3-4 seconds left, he shoots a three and makes a three. And it's all about gambling. When you see that kind of play, it's all about gambling. So, let's get some good energy in here. This is what I had from the other day. So we'll see. This will probably burn down. It's the only thing about getting these big ones. These are 3-hour incense. But I didn't want to waste it. And that look like a sparkler. Looks like a sparkler. Now you be doing the shit when you're little. Doing the sparkles and shit. There we go. To the east. To the north. To the west. To the south. Above. Below. In the center. Let me touch everything. I like to hit everything with this magic that's close to me. Hit it all. Have it all working for me. Yeah, put this thing over these pennies. But yeah, it's just amazing. And I got a thing today. I got like the Google pictures and shit, and it shows 10 years ago. So 10 years ago today, I saw the Timberwolves play the San Antonio Spurs. I want to say Tim Duncan and Tony Parker were there. I don't think David Robertson. So we're talking about in 2014. At that time, my best friend, his wife worked for Target, and she had got some tickets. And then we were sitting up high, but we still got to see the game for free. And then a year later, me and Tony sitting right behind the players' bench. Years later, we try and eat gourmet food. We sitting like this and shit. We got these big giant plates of food. We're sitting like this. But yeah, so how life can be. How life can be. 1 minute you're up in the rafters, and the next minute you're sitting behind the visitors' team bench. So, you take gifts as gifts come. That's all. You take gifts as gifts come. So. What do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl this coming next year? That fucked up the spread when they do that. Yeah. It does. And they do it. You notice they don't do it all the time, because if the spread is cool, then they just dribble the timeout. But if the spread ain't, they let them go and try to score. And we see, and football's bad for that. It's like the team can't win and they still trying, and then they get a touchdown or a field goal, and it fucks up the spread. College does the same thing if you pay attention. I've said on Van Pelt, they have a part, him and Stanford Steve have a part called Bad Beats, and I'm not sure if they still do it. But it shows you they mock the bettors, because bad beats means how did they score? Like how how miraculously did they score? So that's what bad beats show. So I don't know. So it's some bullshit. If you don't think the egghead man in the room is a thing, then see why they make these miraculous scores when they can't win, but yet they still trying to score. So that's the kind of shit that, if you're a serious gambler, that you got to deal with. Because if it looks like too often that the team ain't gonna win, you know, or the spread is gonna hit and too much money's owed, they gonna score. Or they gonna fuck up the spread so you can't win. You dig? Because if you give up the points, and that's one of their biggest scams, is when you take a touchdown or 2 touchdowns and they don't cover the spread. What was the big game a week ago where they didn't cover the spread? What was that game? I don't quite remember. But it was like the team won, but they didn't cover the spread. So even though they won, they did not cover the spread. And how often do you see that? You take the favorite and they don't cover the spread. And they should blow the team out. So now my early pick for the Super Bowl, I'm thinking, let me see who I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say my early pick for the Super Bowl are the Lions and the Bills. The Lions and the Bills. The Lions ain't never been. And I say if the Lions make it the first time, the Lions win. If the Bills play any other team but the Lions, the Bills will probably win. And it'll be what they've been they went 4 times in a row. And that's a hard feat to go to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. I said 5, excuse me, 4 years straight. That'll never be matched again. Not straight like that. Like this year, if the Chiefs go, it'll be 3 years or 3 out of 5, something like that. So the first form of ball game manipulation is when athletes get paid by bookies and other people to throw games. The Longest Yard starring Burt Reynolds, starring Adam Sandler. Yeah, where you had the guards betting and shit. Yeah, betting and you know, they really had that. They really had prisoners playing against other prisoners in different sports. If you got anybody know who Pee Wee Kirkland is, Pee Wee Kirkland, I think he scored 100 points in one of them prison games. I think I told you, I watched Tim Reed. What did Tim score? Tim scored 100 points, I think, in a game where he literally, man, I bet when Tim scored 100, I want to say they only had 150. Tim scored 100 and they only had 150, and Tim was a dog. Tim was the only guy I've ever been around that could literally be double teamed, triple teamed, 5-time team, and was strong enough to get out of it. Consistent 30 feet jumper, very consistent. He could, every game he played, he would hit a jumper from damn near half court. I mean, he very consistent outside shooter when outside shooting really wasn't a big thing when in his game. But he would take them shots when we played the semi-pro summer league, and of course when he was in jail playing those games. But yeah. And I talked about Eric Hawkins that scored 81. Eric was more impressive because he out-hustled everybody. Tim wouldn't necessarily out-hustle everybody, but he would get the ball every time and score. Now, I played in another game with Vashawn Leonard. I just watched a video of Michael Jordan schooling Vashawn Leonard. He had got Jordan mad in the game before, so he came back and went at Vashawn. But yeah, Vashawn scored 81, and we lost. We lost, and he scored 81. Last play of the game, Tyrone, we were all under the basket. Tyrone 6'8", and all he had to do was pass it because everybody was guarding Vashawn. I mean, literally all 5 players was like, fuck it. They knew he wasn't going to pass, and damn if this nigga didn't pass. And all he had to do is, and instead he took the quick dribble and went up at half court. Now, he had hit a couple of them, but, you know, and lost the game for us. I think it was a semifinal or some shit like that. I don't quite remember. But, yeah, I think it's the Lions this year in the Super Bowl. Now, I even think if the Lions play the Chiefs, the Lions might even beat the Chiefs, you know. The Lions might even beat the Chiefs. Remember, the Chiefs did lose Super Bowl 1, right? Raiders lost Super Bowl 2. Yeah, the Chiefs lost Super Bowl 1. And so if Lions make it, I think it'll be a replay of Super Bowl 1. So if Lions play the Chiefs or the Bills, I think they'll beat either those teams. But if the Lions doesn't make it and the Bills do, I'm picking the Bills to beat somebody, whoever else would go, maybe even Philly. Maybe the Bills would even beat Philly. If it was Philly and the Bills, I think the Bills would beat Philly. I don't think they want to give Hurst the championship. I could be wrong. If we go a replay of Chiefs and Eagles. I don't know if they'll let the Philly win. So we'll see. But that's my kind of my picks. So peace to the chat. Thank you, Benji. That is so cool to holler to everybody. And you know I got my little THC drink going, so I can get my geek on while I philosophize. Well, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna get right to the games, and then I can talk about other shit. So the game that comes on, I think this game comes on tomorrow. Yeah, the game that comes on tomorrow, Steelers and Browns. Always a tough game, but I think the Steelers will win. And then we got the Titans and Texans. I think the Texans win at home. We got the Vikings and Bears. Y'all know the Vikings. Now, I will say the Vikings played the Bills. The Vikings would probably win. I don't know if they would let the Vikings beat the Chiefs. But I think they would let them beat the Bills. I think they would, if that came into play. Commanders versus Cowboys. I say Commanders. Cowboys go on a 6-game losing streak. Patriots and Dolphins. I got the Dolphins at home. Chiefs versus Panthers. I got Chiefs. Bucks versus Giants. Man, I tell you, the Bucks are so inconsistent. It's hard to. Giants aren't playing. Oh, and Jones is getting benched. And you know how they do when they bench somebody, they let them win. But I'm still gonna go with the Bucks. When they bench somebody, they always had the other team winning. But I'm gonna still go Bucks. Lions versus Colts. I'm going Lions on the road. Broncos and the Raiders. I'm going Broncos again. Cards versus Seahawks. See, I be getting right when I start believing in the Seahawks, they let me down. I'll say Seahawks at home. I always do a upset. Seahawks at home. Packers versus Niners. I'm gonna say Packers at home. Eagles versus Rams. I'm gonna say Eagles win on the road. And we're going to have Ravens versus Chargers. I've been rolling with the Chargers all year. I'm going to keep rolling with them. I know that, yeah, this pen's not dead. That's just I had it in a bad angle. So, recap. Steelers, Texans, Vikings, Commanders, Dolphins, Chiefs, Bucks, Lions, Broncos, Seahawks, Packers, Eagles, Chargers. So that's how I got going into week 12. Week 12. Is this maybe I made a mistake. Let me see. Let me see if I made a mistake. Yeah, Texans at the Texans. Who is this? Yeah, that's right. Okay, I got that right. Now, the next thing on my mind. Here we go. The next thing on my mind to share. I want to share a breakdown of this movie. The big red one. Let's see that. See Santa's sleigh? Santa's sleigh. Santa got a pimp sleigh. Look at this sleigh. And notice the reindeers are lit up. But look at Santa's sleigh. He looked like a vet. I must say, I was really surprised how good of a movie it was. I was surprised how much they touched on so many different things. Very good movie. Even a better screenplay. I mean, they touched like one thing they show here is if you look at the reindeers and the reindeers' antlers are shining.
Well, that's the power of how through the antlers, that's where the energy for them to fly come from. So when they power up and go use this sleigh, that's where the power of of the reindeer, how they fly, is they can move energy from the ethers into their antlers. Now you got what's funny is you got the Coca-Cola bear, that's the Coca-Cola bear. Very small part in the movie, not hardly in any of the movie. That scene where you see him with the Iceman, he didn't have a big part. And what's funny is on his jacket in the movie, it says elf. And they tell what the elf means. Rock did an excellent job. I mean, it's not where he went through the motions. I mean, you could tell he really, like everybody in it, really took it seriously for such a subject. Now, one thing that is really deep, they show that the North Pole is not just, how over the years they show Santa and it's just a little shop and stuff. Over the years you've been seeing the expansion of the North Pole. Well, this is a whole big ass city that's hidden. And it's almost like the Rwanda, whatever, the Black Panther, is almost the same thing, where they got a force field where you can't get through it. All right, so it's a force field where you can't get through it. And so all the people that work for Santa, they have a big ass city. All right. So then you see these operates go in and they penetrate the North Pole. So they cut a hole in the force field. But let me back up a little bit. So the movie starts where this cat right here, the movie starts where this guy is, he's scamming everybody and he's a degenerate gambler, but he's one of the best locators in the world. And he's able to locate. So Santa does like a practice mission and Santa's going back home. And this guy helps them locate Santa. So Santa's going back home and they need the position of how to follow Santa. And that's what they do. He doesn't know it, but he helps them move Santa, track Santa. So that's where he comes in. And so, they cut a hole in there and then they go get Santa and they make this whole run on how they escaping. Well, again, first everybody sees Santa and you see the video where he's lifting and Santa's getting in shape and everything, getting ready because Christmas is about to come. Oh yeah, it starts off where Santa is really at a place, letting children sit on his lap and shit. He's really at a place like that. And that's why he wasn't at the North Pole. And they treat him like he goes to a military base to take off. So the military, I thought that was kind of interesting. The military knows about Santa and helps him out. So anyway, they go in there and they snatch Santa and they make you think they done took him away and Santa's going and they done stole Santa. And so the Rock's character is just going crazy trying to get Santa, but they get away. They fool the Rock and they get away. So the Rock goes to Captain America for his help and they start tracking Santa. And so you get to meet, like, Lucy Liu is the head of all, well, Rock is the head of security, but Lucy Liu is kind of like the go-between between the military. She's like the CIA version for Santa, I guess, basically. So they go into full panic mode to try to get him back. And they show the character that takes him away. Now, what's interesting is they say that did Santa ever have a beef and what happened? And they say, well, Santa had a brother and the brother would punish bad children. Well, those of you that know the story of Krampus is the person that would punish the bad children. It's Krampus, right? There was a movie a year or two ago where it was kind of a funny movie about Krampus, but Krampus would kill the naughty children. And guess who they throw out there? I mean, this is what a lot of people would really miss.
a lot of people would really miss this, is Marduk. This is Marduk like a motherfucker. See, that's what gets me. You got this entity that wants to be worshipped. He wants to be famous. And you see him over and over again. There's a patch on the Rock's arm that technically has Marduk. I had never picked it up before, but the symbol for the Corvette is nothing but a symbol of Marduk. And the Demerge, what is this? The Demerge's other name. But it's the same character. It's the Demerge. It's Marduk. It's that same character. We see Moses in statues being Marduk. What is his name? Gosh. Yadaboeth. You see Yadaboeth. I mean, these are all the same characters, but Yadaboeth. And so then they ask, who would have a problem with Santa, and it comes up that it's the witch. I'm trying to think where we saw the witch in other historical films, but it's the witch that wants to punish all the children of the world. Now, some cool things you see in the trailer where they can have a toy, he can make the toy blow up. But one of the coolest things is remember, Santa has elves, and so Rock can make himself shrink down. So a lot of times when Rock shrinks down, he's able to run around these motherfuckers, So remember, elves are little, but they're able to shrink down. So that's a pretty good feat. So of course the guy helps him, and of course, they still tell the story of the Captain America guy, and he doesn't interact with his son. So his son ends up going on the hunt with him to meet Santa and all that shit. So, the witch is just about to drain all Santa's energies. So they thought that they had escaped. They thought that they had taken Santa away, but in reality, they had just put Santa in one of the dungeons in the North Pole. So because they wanted this machine that could replicate other toys. So what she wanted to do is replicate these crystal balls, and the crystal balls could seal you in there like a genie bottle. So that's what she planned on doing to all the bad children in the world, is sealing in these bottles. So, of course, they figure this out. They end up fighting the witch, and they go outside because the witch tries to take off in the sled, and they stop her. And the witch was a beautiful woman. She turns into this giant ogre. And just when you thought all hope was lost, here comes Krampus to help beat this bitch and send her back. And they end up putting her ass in one of those snow globes, one of the snow globes. All right. Now, and then this is the clever part. Then they go show Santa deliver toys. Now, Santa's got this map. I'm telling you, this motherfucking sled is some clever shit. They got a toy. I mean, there was a popcorn thing like this sled. I mean, that it's a popcorn thing just like this sled. I didn't see how much it was, but if it was $30, it was too much. So they show Santa start delivering gifts. The one thing on Santa's sled is the reason why they didn't use the duplicator that's in the North Pole is because they have one right on the sled. The sled has a thing that makes toys. So Santa is like, what's cool is Santa is like going like, just like the Rock has the ability to get small, Santa has that same ability. So you see, like, how did Santa get in the house? Well, Santa shrinks down, he sloops down, then he gets big in the house and drops all the gifts off, and the gifts are small, then he hits them with that thing, and the gifts get normal size. That is so clever, the way they had him, doing all the work, how the elves is making the toys not making them, but, producing them. Yeah, I guess they are making them on the sled. And just the Santa, how he has to hustle and he's in and out of these houses. That shit was clever in the motherfucker. So I would give the movie a 8 out of 10, if not a 9 out of 10. It is definitely my top 5 this year. Now I'm going to see Gladiator in the next couple of days, maybe tomorrow. If I see Gladiator tomorrow, maybe I'll come do a show. But I was surprised how well it was. Because my daughter didn't want to go and my mother didn't want to go. So I think we're going to see Gladiator tomorrow, but my wife likes the Steelers, so maybe not. Oh, but yeah, Krampus. Marduk is as in Marduk, the son of Niki and I. An Anunnaki in the Sumerians mean those who came to earth from the heavens. Oh, and let me say one more part. Now, you mentioned Anunnaki. See, they give you everything in this movie. Now, if you remember the War of the Gods, remember when they would turn into the golden, remember Horus would turn into the bird? They had a bird man. Like they did a slapping contest and the bird man was like the judge. That's Anunnaki right there. That is straight Anunnaki. Giving you that Sumerian straight Anunnaki. Because they had the bird man. And you know how they represent Anunnaki as kind of birds. So I'm glad you reminded me of that. What do you think, Bronny? What do you think about Bronny? Look, what you got to understand is when you get with them pros, you get better. He is going to get better. That dude named Vincent ain't better than Bronny. He's just a veteran. But his skill set is not better than Bronny. His skill set. Bronny is the same as Patrick Beverly. He is the same as Patrick Beverly. And so Bronny's going to be okay. He's going to get an example. I mean, again, this dude is what, 19? 19 probably? 19, 20 at the oldest. So to say he's there, Bronny's money is guaranteed, $5 million guaranteed contract. So Bronny's going to be up and down just to let him play. That's all. He is going to get better. And so all that you think that he's not, he is going to get better. And he's going to be just as good as Patrick Beverly, if not better. And that player they got on there named Vincent better watch out. Because Bronny is just as good as you, dude. Defensively, I would say if you looked at his all-around game, he's staying with people. He's staying in front of people. He's blocked a couple shots, which he seems to have a good instinct on help side blocks and helping block shot. So he'll be okay. He'll be okay. The birdie man. Yeah. Oh yeah. He got wings and everything. He don't fly. He just stand there. But you know who he looked like? And this is about if my brother was listening, he would know. He looked like the bird man on Buck Rogers. If y'all remember Buck Rogers, there was a hawk man or a bird man. He looked like him. Except that dude didn't really have the wings. This dude had the wings. So when he spread his arm, he had wings. But again, you know, you got Marduk, Yadabath, Yadaboeth, the Demurge. It's got a bunch of names. And even Moses. You could even throw Moses in there because most pictures of Moses show him with horns. So I was pleasantly surprised. You know, I go in there geeked, and so I'm looking at everything, but it was deep. It was a good movie. It was a good, fun movie. If you want to take your children, they will enjoy it. They will definitely enjoy it. So I say it's worth it. Tomorrow, supposed to see Gladiator. I'm gonna see it, and we might wait till next Tuesday because every Tuesday is only $5. So we might even wait till Tuesday. If my wife wants to watch the Steelers, I don't care. We can catch the movie, but I might see it tomorrow. If I go see it tomorrow, I might do a show because it's Thursday, right? Yeah, I ain't got shit. I ain't got even no doctor's appointments. So maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Now time is to go into the morbid news. Let's see here. No. Why did that come up? God damn. I don't know if it's going to give it back to me. I don't think it is. Oh, yeah, they did. Okay. So in the morbid news, we have... Oh, I am here. Oh, it went away. All right. Am I open? Oh, here we go. Rapper Sapphire, dead at 54. I've never heard of this nigga. An Oakland-based rapper knows his appearance in the 93 film Menace to Society
And for albums like 94 Boxcar Session died, according to a statement. He died the 19th. He was 54. Born Reggie Gibson passed away the morning surrounded by friends and family. So obviously he had been sick. We have a history. I can't even explain how I'm feeling, Exhibit wrote in a statement. Exhibit from Michigan. We surrounded him and let him know how much we loved him. He can rest now. And the Pimp My Ride expressed empathy for the Safar family and must be feeling sad. Friends and family, everyone rock with us from hip hop to reach out. And we did this chick. She died a while ago. Safar started making waves in the 90s for his work with hip hop crews, Hobo Junction, and Digital Underground when he joined alongside his former roommate, the late Tupac. But his career, this is Harold. Okay, this is Harold, right? Yeah, this is the dude who played Harold that got shot in a car. His early career took off when he scored a role in the Coke Clan, which also starred Menace to Society, Jada Pinkett, Samuel Jackson. The following year, he earned a major record deal with the late Quincy Jones and achieved critical acclaim. His first album, Boxcar. Yeah, this is the Harold character, I think. Isn't this the Harold character, the one that played Kane's cousin Harold that gets killed in the BMW? I think that's him. Safar went on to drop a handful of follow-up records before largely stepping away from the public eye due to ongoing health complications, including a cancerous tumor in his spinal cord that required multiple surgeries and left him unable to walk. I had to have surgery to get the tumor out. And 13, the doctor told me if I didn't take it out by the time I was 40, I'd probably be paralyzed. And it's ironic, I did surgery and I'm still kind of in that situation. Through his challenging health journey, he had removed himself from the spotlight and released his last album, Cold Blooded, in 20, continued to focus on his craft. Definitely writing about my experience now. I'm dealing with it and going through it. So now I think Senator Lebowitz died too. I saw that Lebowitz, I think, passed as well. Let's see. It was on here a second ago. No, I'm gonna have to scroll. Oh, another one. Now, I don't, this one, this happened yesterday, but like you would have to be like, I wonder if Brother Nick, because I don't know if Detroit people got WGN. I guess when you got cable, WGN came with it. But WGN to this day shows the Bulls games, every Bull game, a home and away. And so I've been watching the Bulls since, I can't even say. I say at least 1970. At least 1970 because Chet Walker from Benton Harbor end up with the Bulls. And Chet was from Benton Harbor, so we would always watch the Bulls. But the one that we liked was Bob Love, Butterbean Bob Love. And Bob Love's story is kind of sad because Bob, like all the money he made in the NBA, he couldn't read or write. So he wasn't able to keep his money. His money got taken away from him very easily. And then Bob came back. He started washing dishes just to make money. He learned how to read and write, and then I think the league started helping him out. But yeah, Butterbean Bob Love. And it says here, American professional player, best known his time with the Bulls, scored 12,000 points. And the Bulls, which ranks third in team history behind Jordan and Scottie Pippen, a small forward, Love was a prolific scorer in the 70s, earning 3 NBA All-Star selections, being named to the All-NBA second team twice. After retired, he faced a challenge due to speech impediment and later became a motivational speaker and community ambassador. He was 81. And so I don't know, like Bob Love, Chet Walker, Norm Van Leer, Bullwinkle. They had a center. They had a center. I think the center's name was Tom Bullwinkle. And so those was the old time Bulls when the Bulls didn't win anything. And I think the Bulls is from, because the original Chicago team was the Chicago Packers, I think. Let me see what the Chicago original team's name, because the Bulls was an expansion team, if y'all didn't know that. Let me see. Let me see. What was they called? What were they called?
Yeah, here we go. Walt Bellamy, or they called him Big Bells. Yeah, I think they were called the Chicago Packers. Packers, I think. Chicago Packers. Let me see if I can find pictures of Walt Bellamy. Because it says Chicago P, and then they took the Detroit name. I think they became the Zephyrs, which the Zephyrs was an old name used. So I think the first year they were the Packers, the second year they were the Zephyrs. I think they were called the Zephyrs. Sorry, no pictures of this cat. Let me see. Hawks. He later played for the Hawks and the Knicks. Oh, he went to Indiana. He's one of the first brothers to go to Indiana. I don't see any pictures of him. What does this say? Yeah, Packers. Chicago Packers. Yep, that's what they was called. Chicago Packers. And then I think his second year they were called the Zephyrs. So when the Bulls came, I think the Bulls was the expansion team in 68, 69. Because I think the Packers or Zephyrs, I think they, looking at his stuff, I think they folded in 62. And I don't know how many years they played, you know. So remember that movie you saw it in your 20s? Okay. Chicago Stags. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe it could have been the Stags, but let's see. Yeah, I can get out of this. Let me see. The other person was Leberitz. Bobby Allison, I already talked about that one. Yeah, you could be right with the Stags, too. Here we go. Let's see if I can find some more pictures of Walt Bellamy. Here we go. See if I can find, because I've got my phone don't show that picture very. Oh, it's the same pictures right here. I think this is it. Nope, that's the Bullets. That's him being in the Bullets. Where's the other picture? Oh, right here. Yeah, it's right here. See? Packers. Right there. Packers. Him and Wilt. He could play. At 6'9", 6'10", this guy could play. See, I'm pretty sure it's the Packers. He was a decent player, too. Let me see if they show the Zephyrs. Let me see if I can catch it with the Zephyrs. Is this the Zephyrs right here? Let's see. I think that's the Bullets. Because he played on a couple Chicago teams. Hawks, Knicks. Let's see, what team is this they playing against? Oh, that's an all-star game. Yeah, he would give it to Wilt. He couldn't stop Wilt, but Wilt couldn't stop him either. Yeah, and this is the one I found. Yeah, right here. This is the one I found. Packers. See? No. Let's see the Packers right there. They were Chicago Packers at one time. I was trying to find the Zephyrs. And I think, yeah, there was the Stags at one time, too. I mean, people don't realize how much the NBA has changed and the way the teams would change. Black and white. Huh. I don't know who that is. April. Oh, this motherfucker about to hit somebody. I told you they used to fight like a motherfucker in the NBA. It was very he wanted to hit Wilt or somebody. This is gosh, I should know his name, number 10.
This is one of the Jones, though. It's Casey and the other. This is the other Jones boy, Sam. This is Sam Jones, Mr. Shoot the Bank on You. Sam was nasty with the bank shot. He was real nasty with the bank shot. So, yeah, I don't think I can find one with the Zephyrs because it was a dude named, I think, Terry Derringer. And, you know, the Pistons were originally called, what were the Pistons really called? Because, they were the Fort Wayne Pistons at first. So, it might have been the Detroit Zephyrs, but the Pistons were at first in Fort Wayne. They were called the Fort Wayne Pistons. But Fort Wayne, you had to take, no train went to Fort Wayne, so you had to take a train. You had to take you had to drive to Fort Wayne from where the train dropped you off. So, and he went to Indiana. He had to be one of the first brothers that went to Indiana, and his brother's passed. He ain't with us anymore. And I forgot he played with Detroit, too. This is with the Pistons. And I don't know if y'all remember these cards. This came from the big cards. Yeah, the 69, 70. The basketball cards were big. And you can't, another picture, you see it a little better. See, they were big cards. This is some of the first basketball cards I started collecting was these big cards like this. Now, I didn't have this one. I had Connie Hawkins. I know I had Connie Hawkins for sure. Yeah, so I never saw that you could buy gear. Look at this. You could get gear with his number on it. I did not know that. I've never seen this for sale. How much is this motherfucker? No price. Yeah, no price on it though. That'd be different. A Walt Bellamy jersey. I think he's in the Hall of Fame though. Pretty sure. Pretty sure he's in the Hall of Fame. So they sometimes release gear with the stag colors. Okay. Yeah. I think you're right. I think that might have been the second year. They might have been called the Stags. They might have been called the Stags the second year. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure his first year was the Packers, and maybe it was the Stags the second year. I don't know. I guess we had to look. NBA. Trying to get the name. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. It was founded 46-47. NBA, the NBA came, the BBA and the NBL. I went to that history before. And there have been 15 defunct teams. Yeah, okay, so there had been 15 defunct franchises, of which 9 played in only one season. The Anderson Packers, the original Denver Nuggets, the Indianapolis Jets, the Sheboygan Redskins, the Waterloo Hawks had played in the NBL before joining the NBA, while the original Baltimore Bullets played in the ABL and NBL before joining the NBA. The Packers, Redskins, and Waterloo Hawks left the NBA for the National Professional Basketball League, and are the only defunct team to cease to exist in the league other than the NBA. The original Bullets were the last defunct team to leave the NBA. Okay, the Chicago Stags. Okay, the Chicago Stags, the Indianapolis Olympians, the Cleveland Rebels, and the Packers and the Redskins qualified for the playoffs, and every year they were active in the league. Other cities that host this defunct NBA franchise: Chicago, Cleveland, Denver, Detroit, Indianapolis, Toronto, Washington, D.C. all have had NBA teams, while Providence, Anderson, Sheboygan are all close to an hour away from a market with an NBA franchise. And Pittsburgh is 2 hours away. St. Louis and Buffalo would receive replacement franchise that would later relocate. Yeah, so
So the Stags was part of, they would have been earlier. Yeah, what did it say here? The original, the 88 Redskins, the Packers, Hawks, they were defunct. The original Bullets, Cleveland, I was way up here. Sheboygan, Waterloo played in the Bullets. So yeah, the Stags only played one season. They only played one season in Chicago. So Bullets were a defunct team to leave, having folded in 54-55. The only defunct team to have won an NBA championship. Wow. Wow. The Chicago Stags and Olympians. See, Olympians was an old team. The Indianapolis Olympians. I want to say the Boston Celtics used the Olympians name too. Before they were Boston, they were the Olympians. And I get that from what's his name? The Globetrotter movie that was last year. Sweetwater. His movie showed the Boston Olympians. So, and that was, again, I think it was a different league, or before the leagues merged. So, yeah, I forget what even got me on that subject. I think Senator Leibowitz died today too. What is this now? Oh, okay. Some bullshit. Let's see if this gets, because I think Senator Leibowitz died. See if I can find that. Bee Gees stars die. Who is this in the Bee Gees? Bee Gees dies before the death of band drummer. The drummer of the Bee Gees died at 76, becoming the second member to die this week. Just 4 days after Brian's death, Colin Smiley Peterson, the band's first drummer, also passed away. So both the drummers died? Wow. So both the Bee Gees drummers died. These is showing the band instead of just the three brothers. They showed other mates. So I guess both these cats died. Damn, a lot of liquor back there. These motherfuckers is getting fucked up. So, what I say, PJ, if you take a sip of the devil juice, of the beast cup, well, you're going to suffer. The beast is going to show when you die, when you live, when you die. Now, who is this motherfucker? This is Vladimir Sokov. He dies at 39 years old. Get down. Get down with your twinkle toes. Do. After falling from the 5th floor? Damn. That sounds like some KGB shit there. Russian ballet Valery Sokov dead after falling from the 5th floor of a building in St. Petersburg, Russia. Wow. How the fuck do you fall from a building? Damn. Twinkle Toes done pissed somebody off. He probably was like, motherfucker, I'm leaving this shit. And so they push him off the building. That's rough, y'all. They're already saying that that dude who was in that group, they had his funeral. Oh, we got some finalists for, says finalists for the Hall of Fame. Or not finalists, but getting down to a semifinalist. Antonio Gates deserved it. Antonio Gates was a hooper. He was a hooper. And I think turf toe put him out. Either plantar fasciitis or turf toe hurt him. I can't remember. Rodney Harrison and Pro Football Hall of Fame. Who else? What's the names here? Eric Allen, Jared Allen. 25 have been selected. Willie Anderson, Anquan Bolden, Jamari Evans, Antonio Gates, James Harrison, Rodney Harrison, Torrey Holt, Luke Keechee,
Eli Manning. Eli Manning is going to definitely make it, even though he wasn't a Hall of Famer. Robert Mathis, Steve Smith Sr., he deserves it. Terrell Suggs, Fred Taylor, Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas ain't going to make it in because he gave them motherfuckers the finger while he played. Adam Vinatieri, the best kicker ever. Best money kicker, Hines Ward, yeah. Ricky Waters, probably not. Reggie Wayne, I would say no. Raymond Wares, I'd say no. Vince Wilfork, no. Steve Wyshakowski, I don't know who that is. And Darren Whitson, probably. Marshall, so I'd say Eric Allen, should. Jared Allen, no. Willie Anderson, no. Anquan Bolden, no. Jamari Evans, I don't know enough about him. Antonio Gates, yes. James Harris, he won 2 Super Bowls, so yes. Rodney Harris, probably. Terry Holt should. I don't think he is. Manning shouldn't, but I think he's going to go in. Steve Smith Sr. definitely deserves to go in. Earl Thomas ain't going to go in because he gave somebody the finger on TV. They're going to hold that against him. Adam Vinatieri, definitely. He's the most money kicker in the history of the NFL. That kick he made, even though shit is fixed and maybe they had the flying ball, but that kick he made in the snow in Oakland was a hell of a, or in New England was a hell of a kick. To be able to kick it 40 yards in the snow like that, in a snowstorm, that was a money kick. That was definitely a money kick. So I think he makes it. Now, you know, they talking about the Tyson fight. Did y'all see the highlight of Tyson where Tyson could have hooked him? They said it was in their contract where Tyson couldn't uppercut him because that was Tyson. Hit you in the ribs and uppercut you. You know, that was Tyson. Ribs, uppercut. And he didn't. I mean, they never went toe to toe. And I guess apparently he couldn't hit Paul. That was in their contract that he couldn't hit him. So I wouldn't be surprised. But again, it was an exhibition fight. Remember, did you see the picture where he jabs Paul and Paul's like, damn. So, me and my partner here at work says over in Russia, they fall from windows and high landmarks. Yeah. Oh, did y'all, let me see. Let me hip y'all to this. I saved this. Let me find how to get to it. Oh, here we go. Erase that. Yeah, so Ukraine was able to. Okay, so last week Russia hit Ukraine with a bunch of missiles, and they say they destroyed both. Then they sent earlier this week, Monday or Sunday, they sent a bunch of drones back in retaliation. Well, Biden just gave them motherfuckers permission to hit their asses with some cruise missiles. So they shot cruise missiles into Russia and blew up some soldiers. So they said they destroyed all the Russian missiles. But I'm trying to get here. So they was trying to say that the Russian missile called Dagger, they said they couldn't be shot down, and they said they shot them all down. Where is it? But they hit these niggas with these cruise missiles, and not only did they shoot them with American cruise missiles, and they killed some men, they killed some of the Koreans, and they killed some other men. But then Britain and France both let them shoot their type of cruise missiles at them too. So once they shot all the American cruise missiles, Britain said, you can shoot the ones we gave you now. And France said the same thing. So they shot a bunch of cruise missiles into Russia. And as I said before, they've already killed some Koreans. Some North Koreans have already been killed in Russia. They killed about 20 or 30 of them already. The interesting thing is, will China send troops into Russia? And that seems very likely to me. See, this is that he used Archimedes only 6 times. This ain't what I was saving. Let's see. I'll save that one. I'm trying to find the cruise missile story, y'all. I'm sorry. I thought I saved it. Oh, okay, here we go. Ukraine bombers fire 10 bunker-busting Storm Shadow cruise missiles at Russia and Russia commanders. They shot them at the commanders. The strike in Russia's Kursk Oblast came 2 days after Allies' approval raids on Russian soil. Monday, the New York Times broke the news that U.S. President Joe Biden had authorized Ukraine to fire American-made long-range missiles at targets inside Russia. Ukraine president promptly vowed the missiles would speak for themselves. Hours later, Ukraine Army battery launched 3,700-pound Army tactical missile system rocket, each packing up to 1,000 grenade-powered submunitions at a sprawling Russian ammunition arsenal in Kiev, a city in Bryan Oblast, 60 miles north of the Russian-Ukraine border. So that ain't deep into Russia. The early morning strike left the arsenal in flames. Was just the beginning of what would be a powerful campaign of deep strikes. That ain't deep. 60 miles off the border ain't deep. Aimed at Russian forces and their command and supply infrastructure in and around Kursk in western Russia. Following Biden lead, the governments of the United Kingdom and France also authorized to fire British and French munitions at Russia on Wednesday morning. Ukraine Air Force bombers repeatedly flung 10 Storm Shadow cruise missiles at a target in Mariino, a town 25 miles off the border. That ain't deep into Russia. Exactly what the Ukraine's aiming at with the 2,000-pound cruise missiles is unclear, but the Storm Shadow and a lot of Storm Shadows usually fired at missiles from low-flying planes, supersonic bombers in the past. So the scale of attack is extremely high value, likely fortified target. British base specifically developed the Storm Shadow 880-pound Royal Ordnance charged warhead for destroying hardened structures such as underground bunkers. It is not for no reason when the Ukrainians targeted a Russian Navy submarine in a dry dock occupied. They have to fire at least one Storm Shadow. And I think they made that they stopped that ship. The Russian submarine, they fucked it up. According to one Russian blogger, Wednesday targeted was a command post where Russian and potentially North Korean officers directed the 50,000 Russian and North Korean troops attacking the 250-mile silent that 20,000 more Ukrainian troops hold. So they're facing 50,000 with 20,000. So that's part of you. Yeah, saw that when we were watched it live. Is that what you said? Me and my saw that when we watched it live. Okay. So the war is on. Let me see. It was some other shit I wanted to talk about. And I wasn't okay. It's one brother that really breaks down religion. Oh, this might be it here. Let's see. Okay, so he was saying that Ra, the first solar god, was the first god of Egypt, and I forgot to bring my figure that's up there down to show y'all. See, as she was a sky deity, she was mother of the consort of the sky god Horus and the sun god Ra, both whom were connected with kingships. Thus, she was a symbolic mother of the earthly representatives. I took a picture of what I wanted to read though, so let me find this shit. Here we go. No, that ain't it. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So Hathor is the oldest god in the Greek, or not Greek, in the Kemetic gods. It's a female. See, they want to put that male stuff, but it says right here, the version from Hathor's temple at Dendra emphasized that she, as a female solar deity, was the first being to emerge from the primordial waters that preceded creation, and her life-giving light and milk nourished all living things. She is the oldest god there, not Ra, you know. And then when you hear Osiris and Horus, and she's way older than the Horus and the Osiris myth. She's way older than that myth. This was the first thing they worship. Again, almost all places worship female deities. And then we were getting into, like he was saying that all things are matter, and then we got dark matter. But if you really, like, one thing that doesn't have any matter would be a time crystal. A time crystal doesn't work on matter. A time crystal, see, matter is a type of energy. Time crystal is its own energy. It's going to keep duplicating itself, technically creating realities as it duplicates itself. So there's no matter involved. That he was saying that all things, like, and he said nature, again, the quantum realm ain't built on matter. Like, this is what's interesting. When you go to the ethers, and even if you just you can't leave your body, even if you just meditate, you start seeing fractals. You start seeing fractals. So fractals and shapes don't necessarily come from matter. So, I wasn't trying to break his stuff down, but I'm just like making you think, Nature isn't involved in the quantum space. Because when you have protons, neutrons, they're not in nature. Nature needs those things to live, but they're before nature. It takes those things and then it takes nature. So, it's good watching him, but I'm like, yeah, it's not about right or wrong. It's just interpreting the history. That's really what it is. And again, if you don't really fuck with physics like that, you don't really understand. You dig? You don't really understand what would start nature, so. But I understand the love of nature. That's, I understand that. Wasn't debating that. I was, and it's just like, sometimes you're like, nigga, you don't know what I do. It's that kind of thing, and it's this, it's not, I wasn't trying to troll the brother, but I'm like, yeah, I use Hathor, and it's an older energy than what you're talking about. So, oh shit. Let me see. It is 29 degrees outside, y'all. We got our first snow, and where I live, we got a little more. It's covered. Everything is lightly covered. Like it's not like, how snow gets over the grass where you can't see the grass. It ain't like that. You can still kind of see the grass, but it's all covered. I'll say that. It's all covered. We probably got an inch or two at least. But my friend, my best friend Tony lives he lives in the city technically, but he lives in one of the western suburbs of the city. And he said they didn't get as much as we got. So, and he says his daughter in 8th grade gets to play JV tomorrow. So, I'm about to call it. We might end up shooting there and seeing that one. Go see her play, because nobody comes to the early games. Wearing my fur coat up in that before. I had to wear my sheepskin. I had to wear that around today. First snow, I had to bust out one of them minks. I didn't wear my rabbit mink already. I wore that one. Oh, the next thing, I just want to fuck around and have some fun. So I'm going to just fuck around. I think I do this every year. So I'm going to continue with it. Give me a second. All right, so I live in a cold climate, so every year I like to show my boots. So these are Jordan winterized 6 rings. And this is a year of using it. Now, I think I told you guys, the suede version, the nubuck version that made it look more like a Tim, they had it with 40% off for 100 of these. I would prefer this one. I didn't really want the nubuck, so. Very comfortable. Kind of still hard. Well, is this one? Yes. No, it's the other one that's hard to get on. So, but it keep your feet wet Dry. Keep your feet dry and warm. And this next box, see the box still look new, you know. These motherfuckers been out in a tote all summer. These are Air Jordan Retro 8s. And these are kind of hard to get on. These are kind of hard to get on. And they gave it the, I forget what they called the Rodmans. We used to call them the Malcolm X. This is what this reminds me of. The Renegade Nikes. Is that what they called? The Renegade Nikes with the side tie. But these are extremely warm. Extremely warm. This year I'm going to put my insoles in these motherfuckers. Going to even make them more comfortable. And, you know, these do have the nubuck. This is some kind of synthetic. Really no leather on here at all. Yeah. And so and this is Red Wings. I know a lot of y'all ain't hip to Red Wings because Red Wings is a company that's here. Red Wing shoes. And this is kind of the Alpine style. We used to call these like, and I got some mink oil up here. I need to put some mink oil on these. I just sprayed them all though. I just sprayed them all with silicone. But these are what they would call like Alpine boots. And these are, what are they called? Oh, Irish Setter. The name of these is Red Wings Irish. So I know y'all ain't up to Red Wings. But these are, you know, again, warm, waterproof. Now, I don't know about y'all, but y'all got to have a pair of Doc Martens. You got to have a pair of Doc Martens. You got to. And these are waterproof, winterized. You got to have a pair of Doc Martens. This is all leather. This is synthetic, but the toe is leather. And this is not a steel toe. It's just a hard toe, but not steel. Very warm when there's a lot of snow, thick snow out. And I showed these before, but give a better view. These are, and these motherfucking box makes no sense. This is a box for like size 20. Look at this giant ass box. This is a box for like size 20. And these are called Air Max Go Dome. The Air Max Go Dome. But these motherfuckers are sweet. Waterproof, warm, winterized. Max, got the Max in them. All leather, really good leather. Yeah. Now I just gotta find somewhere to put all these motherfuckers. I really don't have anywhere to put them. So I gotta find somewhere around here to put them. But because I think what I'm gonna do is, because I think I cleaned out one of my totes. So I might put all these shoes I ain't gonna wear till next year in totes. They fine up there, but I gotta find somewhere to put them. So, you know. So that's just my, and then I do have a pair of Uggs. I got to, let's see. Let's look for Uggs. Show the pair I got. And the Uggs deal was really a good deal. Let me see if they show these. No. Uggs men. Let's see if they show the other colorways. It's technically these, but a different colorway. But it's these. Let's see where my colorway would be. Here we go. Yeah, new. These was damn near $300 new. 250, I think. 250, 260. Yeah, it's these. And you can get them in black as well. But I had ordered a pair of $30 boots, and they sent me these. And these was $250 when at the time. Isn't that some shit? $30 boots. So I can still get 100. Look at them. They ain't comfortable. These motherfuckers is flat as shit. They're super fucking flat. But yeah, I got these too. So when I wear my mink, I probably have, have my pants where the pants go into here, got fur going everywhere. And I think my motherfucking inserts will fit in this bitch. So, yeah. So, I just be having fun, y'all. That's all. That's what life is about, is to have fun. And I just don't think a lot of people have a lot of fun. Oh, they talking about Teddy Bridgewater might come back? What is this? They squeezing Teddy Bridgewater? Teddy Bridgewater's Florida high school team under investigation for using an ineligible player. Damn, Teddy, you used the ineligible player? They will strip you of all your games. Says here that Brother Teddy, a team coached by a former quarterback, is under investigation allegedly using an ineligible player. The Florida High School Athletic Association is looking at accusation that Miami Northwestern is using player whose eligibility expired in the spring. Oh, see, he'd already graduated. Allegation brought to a Monday. I think they won the state. Craig Damon confirmed, reached out to school for more information on student athlete. The student athlete's transcript was obtained, indicates his first semester of high school was at Miami-Dade Public School in the fall of 20. 3 days after beginning his freshman year, the student withdrew and eventually took online courses. According to the rules, students are only eligible to participate in sports 8 consecutive semesters, starting with their first semester of 9th grade. This means the Miami student would have used all up eligibility the spring of 24. So they got him in hot water. Now, in this state, and it's because of a girls' rule. Most states is set up like this for girls and not guys. But some states, this state is set up like this. You can play varsity sports starting in 7th grade in this state. From 7th grade up, you can play varsity sports. And again, most states that do that is because they don't have the numbers of girls. But some states just allow girls, but some states allow anybody. And now I know one thing that Michigan did. Michigan would allow you to wrestle. You could be the state champion and be in 4th or 5th grade at your weight. If you're the best at your weight, you could go all the way to state in wrestling at any grade, any age. So Teddy will get his games taken away because of that. Yeah, I think Joe Leverwitz died. Yeah, I think he died. Says Denzel Washington's nearly 10 years sober. Drug and alcohol use led to a lot of damage. Damn, Denzel, 10 years. Denzel had them, what do they call when they put the white teeth over your teeth? That's why he got such an overbite. Denzel will celebrate just more than a holiday this summer. The 2-time Oscar winner and major milestone celebrity, 10 years alcohol and drug-free. The 16-year-old screen legend shared his upcoming anniversary in Esquire. I stopped at 60, and I haven't had a thimble's worth since. And he said in the cover story, things are opening up for me now, like being 70 is real. The training day in Gladiator Star talked about his sobriety. He struggles with it in the 6-act account of the most impactful moments of life. He recalls his pretty tame first trip on acid during his childhood and how he used alcohol to help keep him cope with losing let me see, and how Tripp during his childhood and how he used alcohol to help him cope with losing the 2000 lead actor role to Kevin Spacey. Yeah. Washington was nominated for Hurricane and Spacey won. Yeah, he should have won it for Hurricane. Washington said at the time he felt he had to drink and bitter about his loss. Though he holds no ill will toward the since disgraced Spacey for taking home the Oscar after recalling his pity party and how he felt. When did he do the cocaine? We know you did cocaine. Tragedy Macbeth actor say he never inhibited while working for a project. He'd pick up drinking after he rapped. And remember, he was in that movie there like, Mr. What's his name? Have you ever flown a plane high? He's like, I'm high right now. Do y'all remember that? Where they tried to keep him from getting high and they had to give him a bunch of cocaine to keep him sober to testify because he flew the plane upside down. I shot dope like they shot dope. What? Drinking was a 15-year-old pattern, but the Equalizer said it could be traced back long before his Hollywood days. Early in the cover story, Washington detailed a childhood movie memory, dope fiends from his New York neighborhood. To be honest, that's where it all started, adding that he never got strung out on heroin, coke, and hand drugs, hard drugs. I shot dope like they shot dope, but I never got strung out. I never got strung out on liquor, he said. He starred in Flight, a film about an alcoholic on the pilot whose drinking habits thrust into the spotlight after a miraculous emergency landing renders him a hero. He said in the film came at the end of the drinking and prompted him to think about people who deal with addiction. Wow. Now, he just says something that I told y'all about before. I told y'all there were functional heroin addicts in the 50s and 60s. Not these motherfuckers now, you see him and they, lean. Where do you think lean means and where did it come from? And he just told you he was a functional heroin addict. He shot heroin, it didn't make him sick, and then eventually he had to get himself off of it. I've told the story about my old roommate, the Vietnam veteran. We were 10 years apart, and he only shot dope on the weekends. Now, I wasn't watching the nigga 24 hours, but from what I know and the kind of work he did, we worked for the water department. He worked in water construction. Every day, this nigga was working hard. So there's no way you can tell me he shot some dope in the morning and went to work and worked hard. This nigga was in ditches, putting together fire hydrants, putting together sewer lines, putting together water lines, tapping big water mains. I mean, this motherfucker, he worked a lot harder than I did. Because I worked on when I worked sewer, I worked on a machine, a sewer rodder, if you guys know what that is. So the only time I saw this nigga shoot dope was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I never he never stole from me. One time he tried not to pay me rent and I kept his shit. And I'm like, you can't get your shit back until you pay me. So he sent his woman over there and he dropped some loot on me, So it just goes to the point is you could, I ain't saying anybody do this shit. I'm just saying it's something that you can be functional with. And his people was functional. So it's something different about it now, where people is just leaning all over and all that kind of shit. Wasn't for everybody. Who is this nigga? What did he do? Oh. Shit, they might kill this motherfucker here. Somebody named Brian Kuchenberg can face the death penalty if convicted. Kuchenberg, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students, can face the death penalty. Kuchenberg's defense team has sought to remove the death penalty as possible punishment should be if he's convicted. Denied their motion Tuesday, the prosecution has said it intends to seek the death penalty if convicted. What is judge? He says, included claims, Kirchenberg argues it included claims that forcing inmates to wait for years on death row and the method available to prisoners to be executed in Idaho both constitute cruel and unusual. They also argued Idaho's death penalty laws violate international treaty banning the torture of prisoners. He is accused of the November 13th, 22 stabbing death of Ethan Chaplin, Xana Condell, Madison Morgan, and Kylie Conclaves. All 4 students at Idaho were killed in a home off campus. Kuchenberg was arrested the 30th of December and was extradited back to Idaho. He's where in Pennsylvania. He got away. He is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. I think he should fry. He should fry. And killing somebody with a knife is very personable. Very personal. Kuchenberg did not respond when asked in court to enter a plea last year, so a not guilty plea was entered for him by the judge. Kuchenberg was booked in jail when his trial was moved to request of the defense. His trial is scheduled to begin in August of 25. Said they're overjoyed about the possibility. Yeah, I don't blame you. He needs to fry. He needs to fry. Anybody out there watching Cross? I've been watching Cross. My wife and I've been watching Cross. Anybody been watching that shit? So, oh. Oh, I ain't even on the air. Oh, yes, I am. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just so funny how much they want you to think about Puffy instead of thinking about yourself. Fuck him. Fuck him. Everybody talked about he's a weirdo for all those years. Now, what are these? What are these? Katie's, Jordan, Air Jordan sneakers. Fuck this commercial. It's a long ass ad. God, family, and football. Damn, this is a long ad. There's even no time on it. It's just video will play after ad. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we got here. New Jordans revealed. Yeah, see, I can't do it, y'all. I do not like 3s. I do not like 4s. Yeah, I think these are 3s. I do not like 3s. The old box. Yeah, those are a pair that I just don't like the way they're made, and I do not own a pair of these. But y'all can check them out. Is this another colorway? These are Air Jordan 1s, aren't they? These are Air Jordans. Shoe is like one piece. Dunk. Oh, it's a dunk. Made of pig, cow, and a tank. These ain't bad. All right. Those ain't bad. Those are not bad. Those are not bad. Oh, and these are 2 other colorways. 5s, aren't these 5s? Colorways of 5s. Yeah. So definitely a pass on the pinks. I don't mind the 5s, but I don't know. Not a big 3, 4, and 5 lover. Not a big 2, 3, 4, 5 lover. I think Senator Lavowitz, I think he passed today. But I don't. Oh, SpongeBob, composer and veteran producer, passed at 72. Well, what we say, you take a sip, they're gonna tell you when it's your time. They tell when you get it. Not your family and not natural. It's all unnatural. Cause it's all to set up the gematria, you know? It says, is NBA star Angel Reese's reported net worth of $2 million accurate? Why are they always pocket watching people? I mean, why? They give that to brothers and sisters more than anything. More than anything. I still like the Air Jordan Classics, the white ones and the black ones. I tell you, they got those Air Jordan Evos, and they were down to $70 because still at the outlet, they still like 120 at the outlet. And they've been sitting, ain't nobody buying them Evos. So, but they're nice. They got the Max kind of on the bottom. They got it, and so they're sharp. They're Air Force One, but I only got one pair of true Air Force Ones. Think I got the Carolina female version, so they fit me. Their size, I think 14 female is size 13, 14. I forget. Yeah, see, government dude died today, and I can't find it. Levelwitz, I think government. Let's see. Okay. No, not Dianne Feinstein. No, it was none of them. It was Lebowitz. That's what I saw earlier. Lebowitz passed, but I can't find Lebowitz. Can't find the. Candace Owens says she's ready for Hollywood Babylon to fall after Diddy's alleged obstruction of justice. And I saw a family was awarded $60 million in Texas for the death of their loved one a few years ago. So I lost that. I can't find that. I can't find that one either. I was seeing it and then I touched something and it erased it and it's not back here. So, oh well, fuck it. Let's see, news. Maybe it's on the news. Yeah, and this Getz boy, they tried to get Getz's record. They trying to go after Getz. And Trump didn't really see Trump didn't really vet his people right. He's giving jobs to people that was loyal. And I know this is wrong to say. I know it's wrong to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Like a lot of black folks that voted off emotionalism. Think about it like this. Most of your life, like my family's mostly was Republicans. I didn't know no Democrats till I started going to school. You know, I grew up with Republicans. My grandmother, my mother, my great grandparents, they was all Republican. They didn't get tricked by Roosevelt, because I know Turtle Gang was saying that's when black folks started voting for Roosevelt. But Roosevelt stole the gold, refused to get rid of Jim Crow. So why did black folks vote for him? Why did they vote for this motherfucker? Refused to get rid of Jim Crow, took all the gold from everybody. So what was so popular about him to make you switch from from Lincoln and to Roosevelt? And you know what everybody says is they said this is okay. They don't want to take it fact that the Klan was Democrats. The people that took over Wilmington again was Democrats. They don't want to take that responsibility. And you know what they tried to say? Well, the Republicans now would have been the Klan and the Democrats would have been the Republicans. That's their best argument, is to try to switch history. And so we are, as a people, you are so emotional. And think about it. I mean, out of all the brothers and sisters, what was it? Only 7% of the men voted Republicans? 7%. And women, it was like 2%. So in a way, and you can vote any way you want, but from my perspective, you seem brainwashed. You really seem brainwashed. How you gonna jump from Joe Biden to her and think she can win in 100 days? And what they fool people with is say she made $1 billion her first, second day. That fooled people. So, and as much as I hate to say this, and I don't really want to say it, but it's like, nah, I'm gonna hold that one. But it's like, how if you just won an election and you looked at all these people didn't vote for you, what would you think in 4 years for these people? Would you try to help with these people anything when these people ain't really loyal? That these people was fooled by this person raised in Canada because she was a melanated woman who faked being black? I mean, it's just it's mind. It was like mind blowing at the time, and it's still mind blowing. And now everybody's in the blues. You know, it's like, oh, well, what do you think should happen? 90-some% voted for his enemy. What do you think should happen? I know that's rough to say, but it's like looking at who's loyal in the country, and I obviously ain't black folks. The dear grandson made was block reparations. Exactly. And so, you know, how quickly would you think Trump, you would have thought if reparations was going to come, it's going to come through Obama. It's going to come through Obama. And all really Obama did is saying, you know, quit giving life to these motherfuckers with weed, and we're going to let a few people out of prison. That's the only thing he did. He gave more gay rights. That was Obama's big push because him and Michael are gay, was the push for gay. And there's nothing wrong with being gay, but I'm saying that's who he helped. He helped that community. There was, you know, and this is what's sad about reparations. Don't you know Americans still give Holocaust survivors money? Plus they get money from Germany. These Japanese that they put in them camps, they gave them reparations. They've made laws against hurting Jewish folks. They made laws against talking about Jewish folks, Jewish faith folks. But when it comes to melanated people, the original people here in America, there's nothing for stealing the land. Now that's one negative that Trump wants to do. They don't want their debauchery taught to their children. They want the nice stories. I mean, again, don't be thankful on Thanksgiving. It's nothing to be thankful about. You are really celebrating their murder. The murder that they did on our people and took our lands. That is what they celebrate. That's what they celebrate. The murdering of our people and taking our lands. And us not attacking them back where they could just celebrate and say, hey, we killed these people, we poisoned these people, we stole their land. And now they don't want their children to know about it. They really want a generation to wake up and don't know about their murdering of the people in these Americas. The Spanish, the British, all these murderers that came from Europe. They don't want that taught anymore, that they was murderers. And look how they lied about white slavery, European slavery. They don't want to tell you that they slaved them motherfuckers too. Because when Lincoln freed the slaves, he freed some white folks too. Keep that in mind. It was a lot of white slaves down there. See, they want to tell you that the white folks they had the dogs, they was the overseers, but nah, some of these motherfuckers was still slaves too. But you know what they want to call it? The debt slave. Oh no, he's not a slave. This nigga owes some money, so we making his white ass work in them fields. They don't want to tell you about them kind of slaves. I mean, especially the Irish. They slaved the shit out of the Irish and Scottish. I told it in Red's chat that the black Americans want reparations. They got to be ready. They got to be ready to wage war against white America, burying millions and millions of, well, that's pretty, you know, it's not hard to feel like that. It really is. It's not like I tell people all the time, when you call it the hate produced, we have every reason to hate them. And it's like daily. We have reason to hate them every day. Now, I'm not saying this is hate speech, but I'm saying there is something in us that they do every day that make us hate them. Each and every one of these melanated people or black people, whatever you want to call yourself. You see something that Europeans do that make you want to hate them every day. Now, I'm not saying other people don't do things, but I'm saying what they do, it's like that. It's like their bloodlust has never went away. And the bloodlust that we see has never went away. mean, everything that they've set up a system where they really can't be overthrown, even though Thomas Jefferson said there should be revolution every so many years. I mean, we know the government doesn't really work for us. The government, I mean, we're pretty much in a fascist state, which means when corporations run the country, we're pretty much there. The corporations do run the country. And there's no doubt about that. Let me, woo, going for a ride. So that's how I take my naps. When I take my nap, I let this motherfucker go back and I'll be like, or Stephen Hawkins. Yeah, one by one, it happens. They're not going to give us reparation because their bloodlust and their protocols for genetic survival. Well, yeah, and that's why they're going back to having abortion taken away, because what you have to realize is poor white trash, they getting abortions too. That's some of the poor white trash is what do you call it? Not to have a baby. That's some of their thing is they okay, I'm pregnant today, go get abortion. So it ain't, and it's more poor Europeans than, well, if we take all the melanated people in America, we outnumber them. That's why they keep us in separate groups. We have outnumbered them from day one, but they keep us in separate groups. And that's why we can't believe in what they say. We outnumber them. And you saying you letting more people come? Now, again, the people, what do they identify as? It's hard to say. What do they identify? So, and the making us mad at the immigrants is already a propaganda that they're doing. We blame the immigrants. I hate immigrants that don't even know any. Everything is to blame the immigrants. My wife has to get on me about that. It was another, Venezuelan migrant gang Tren Agara now operating in 16 states. Did y'all know that? They're operating in 16 states. The bloodthirsty, who is these Europeans calling bloodthirsty? Europeans can't call anybody more bloodthirsty than them. The Venezuelan gang Tren da Argola, or TDA, which has been terrorizing neighborhoods across the country, is now operating in 16 states, according to the Homeland Security. The vicious gang is taking advantage of a lax southern border. How'd they get here? They're supposed to not get any benefits or anything. How'd they get here? You telling me it's a group of dudes that's being able to go around and if they probably more than likely illegals? I mean, it sounds like government agents to me. This sounds like government agents. They're doing the government's bidding, but we'll see. The gang has engaged in all sorts of violent crime, including murder, shooting of police officers, assault, robberies, and gun smuggling into migrant shelters. Says they also said to be engaged in drug dealing and the sex trafficking of migrant women in New York and some states. Now how you telling me this small group of dudes, you can't go in the city and take them out? You know what Detroit did? Detroit, when the Crips and Bloods tried to come in Detroit, you know what Coleman Young did? He arrested all them motherfuckers. If you was from New York, your ass was getting arrested. And there was any word of you gang banging, he arrested all them motherfuckers out of Detroit. Detroit had BMF, YBI, Young Boys Incorporated, and the Purple Hat Gang, but no Crips and Bloods. That's just maybe now. I know in Battle Creek, the motherfuckers call themselves that. But so if the government's not taking it away, the government's allowing it. It's like when you first heard it, I think in Colorado, you could tell the police wasn't doing nothing about it. They was like, oh, they don't have that apartment complex. And even when they was on the national news, they was taking it lightly. Now, where do you think they got orders from that? That they just gonna take it lightly? Well, it's not that big a deal. We can just take it lightly. Now they saying they're spreading across the country. Now, does that sound like something that's organic? It doesn't sound like something organic at all. These motherfuckers got so much surveillance, eavesdropping. Nothing goes on in this country without them if they really want to know. They show it to you in movies. If these motherfuckers want to know something, they got all the equipment in the world to know something. So just to tell you that they can go to an apartment complex and take over, you don't move a family in. I mean, think about it like if it was a movie. Okay, if they wanted to catch them, they would move a family in that was police officer. You know, a police officer dude, a police officer woman, and maybe an older, like a young looking police officer. They would move them in and see if they get terrified. You know, and so to build a case against these people, this is how they do it. This is the government they run. If they want to get anybody, they can get anybody. So for them to be roaming in these streets, that means they ain't trying to get them. They are not trying to get these people. So, you know, they don't want melanated people to unite. That's one reason why the propaganda about the migrants and black folks thinking that they ain't part of us and we thinking we ain't part of them is it's the government, divide and conquer. Because if all the melanated people in America organized, see, that's when I play Fred Hampton, that's another one of his videos. You know? Like what did Bobby Seale say that I put on one of my thumbnails? We're not against Europeans, we're against oppression. We are against oppression. And that ain't never went away. Oppression ain't never went away. We are captives, like the old lady said. When we look at ourselves, what we really are, we are a defeated people that were beat. And so we are captives in this country. We are technically prisoners of war. And we've been prisoners of war technically since they came. See, they want to give you a day where Africans came. Nah, when y'all came, it was niggas here. They know it. It was niggas here. When y'all came, it was niggas here. And you slowly, and this is what's so fucked up is niggas would just give y'all land. Oh, you want that land over there? You can just have it. And it wasn't enough for Europeans. Wasn't enough for them. They still had to have more, have more, have more. These motherfuckers would get free land and they had a way to mark the land where they walk. I can't think of what that's called, but they would walk the land off and and then when the Indians would accidentally go hunting on that land, they'd be like, nah, we'll kill you for coming on our land. And they're like, we just gave you motherfuckers this land. And now you saying that we just come a couple miles in your land? You want to wage war against us? This is how dirty they were. Because our looking at ownership in this big country and then killing the trees came from them. American Indians didn't kill trees. You went out in the forest and when we built our houses, we built it from trees that fell over. And there's a lot of that in nature. Because this, as I said many times, this was a country of trees. You never know it looking at it today because they cut them all down. They had to grow them all back up because the country kind of fought them back. So one time, that's why they wanted to control nature, because nature got in their ass during the sandstorm period. Nature got back in their ass. So you think they was going to let the nature take their asses over? So they's like, well, we got to control nature. Because this nature here don't really like us. Because look at what nature did to their asses. When they first killed all the Aztec and took over because of the type of planning that wasn't happening, they had a mini ice age. When Cortez and them took over, if that's real, which I doubt, but anyway, that's what's reported. They had a mini ice age. The American land rebelled against their ass and kept them colder longer than it would have been. It caused a mini ice age around the world. And then the sandstorms that hit them, the Dust Bowl. That was this country fighting back. And then next thing you know, they control the weather. We know, Mother Nature, that you don't like us, but we're gonna stop you by controlling the weather. And we know they've controlled the weather since at least the 50s. And we know they controlled the weather in Vietnam. I've said before, they tried to rain Woodstock out. They seeded the clouds and it made it storm on them people instead. Then people started partying harder. And it's like, we'll get rid of these 500,000, because Woodstock became what, the third biggest city, I think, behind Chicago. And what was it, Chicago? In 68, it would have been New York. No, probably Chicago was still up there in 68, 69. So overnight, it came like something like the seventh or eighth biggest city. It was 600,000 people there, of all young people. And just like, the people that exploded in Floyd was young people. It was the teenagers that was out in them streets by the thousands that overwhelmed the police. Burned down a police precinct that they ain't replaced. They still ain't replaced it. It was a period where they wouldn't even go over in that area. And now they still, they're this police department here for the city of Minneapolis, they're under federal guidelines. They've been having hearings on what the fuck they supposed to do. Because it was so bad here. I think it's only 10 departments in the whole nation that are under federal authority, and this is one of them. And we still having incidents. Motherfuckers driving off, then want to pop motherfuckers, if that's real. Because, it's like everything else. It's real and it's fake. Because that's a major fear thing. If the cops come and you try to drive off, they'll shoot you. I mean, when I was in the police academy, it was a thing about a fleeing felon. You couldn't shoot a fleeing felon. That was law. You could not shoot a person in the back if they was running away from you. Now, if they shooting at you and take running, that's different. Or if they got the gun behind them and they shooting at you and running, that's different. But if they get a free just running away, the law used to be you can't just shoot them in the back. The old Western way to do things, when they have motherfuckers standing drawing. No, the Western way was what happened to Wild Bill Hickok. Shoot him in the back. See, they want to glorify themselves in Western movies when in reality they was a bunch of backstabbers. No, that's not the word. It was another word. Not scallywags. But these was a bunch of shoot a motherfucker in the back. But they want you to think they was high noon. No. When you went in the West, that's what you give them any problem, like they showed in Tombstone. They ain't looking, ambush them. Shoot them in the back. No head to head, shoot them in the back. That was the real West. But they want to glorify these back killers. Look at how they killed Billy the Kid. Supposedly shot him in the dark. If that's real. So it wasn't no one-on-one. Even when Billy the Kid killed people, he was just killing unarmed and armed people. What about that mass murderer named Hardin that loved killing black folks? Psychopath at 14, imbecile psychopath at 14. Harding, I think, was his name. Later became a lawyer in jail, in prison. While he's in prison, they let him get his law degree. But they want to glorify themselves. And they're ashamed of their history. They really are. That's something that's inside of them. They're ashamed of their history. And that's why they want to get rid of critical race theory, because they don't want their younger generation to feel the suffering and the guilt that Europeans feel. They know. They know they get privilege. I mean, this is just, and this isn't victimism. This is just the way it is in America, the way the government was set up. Set up a country of terror so the larger number gets ruled by the smaller number. And they've done that all over this world. Look at South Africa and how long that was allowed. I mean, Alabama and Mississippi, the turn of the century up to the 60s was way more melanated people than Europeans. But the Europeans was with the help of the local state governments, lack of federal government protection, because they said that the job of the federal government is not to protect the people. So they let these murderers run wild from the late 1890s until the 60s. And really, it wasn't until they killed those Jewish cats that they really wanted to do something about it. I mean, Emmett Till was 14. And at 14, he was probably barely 5 foot tall. 5'1", 5'2" at the tallest. He was little for his age. Look at them pictures of him when he, you have to see the picture of him wearing a fedora. He was young. He was small, though. He's a small guy. It's not victimism, it's realism. And the blight of the melanated folks from the time, the first European came on the shore. This is why don't feel for homeless. White people, especially homeless. Yeah. No. What did David Keith? Is that his name? David Keith, the dude with the voice. What did he say? That played in Platoon. Is this David Keith? What did he say in that movie, Mad Men, where it was with Charlie Sheen and his brother Esteban? They end up, they was taking out the trash, and when they was taking out the trash, it was really heavy, and they opened it up. And remember, David Keith was riding. Some reason he was the supervisor. He's riding with them, and he looked over in the trash can, and there's a dead European in there, and he's like, "That's a waste of a perfectly good white boy." Remember that line? He said, "That's a waste of a perfectly good white boy." And again, I don't hate anybody. I mean, what you don't understand is, like, this is generational pain and generational suffering. And, the older people feel it more than the younger people because it deadens. And the younger people are so used to it, and they know nothing about really, like the good thing about Floyd is it showed young people rebellion. True rebellion. That's what feared them. And that's why, when they had the shots, they was just letting people run wild. Because they were fearful that another George Floyd would pop up somewhere else. Because when this was the one time where all the melanated people in Minneapolis got together. And yes, they got together against the cops. The pigs, as Fred Hampton and them call it. That's what we called it when I was a little boy. We called them pigs. What do you want, pig? They'd get mad and the motherfucker kid called him, a child called him a pig. But that's what, the Panthers taught us. We called them pigs. Like, even if you got arrested, motherfucker be like, "Hey, mom, yeah, the pigs got me down here. I'm down here with the pigs." And that's a perfect name. That's a perfect name for him, too. Now, when we talk about individuals, they're good individuals. No doubt about that. That's, I'll never say there's not good individuals. Never say that of all people, again, this ain't geared at everybody. But there's a majority of this that this is geared at. And I mean, what people failed to realize about Harris was this was the time for them to all unite and say, yeah, not in America. We did Obama because he fooled us. Obama fooled us. So we let Obama in. He was a nice guy. The nigga would sing, and we know he's gay. Let's remember that. They knew he was gay. That's why a majority of Europeans voted for him too. They knew he was gay. So that's why they voted for him. But this was a big fuck you to the melanated folks. And the melanated, and laughing at melanated people at the same time. Laughing at you because they're like, this woman ain't even claiming y'all. Before the 100 days, she didn't even claim y'all. And now she's going to claim y'all for y'all support, and y'all supported her, and she didn't even claim y'all. So that's the funny thing about all this. And that was really European America said, hey, we're not giving you another Obama. I mean, and it was European people also saying, how stupid can all you people be? How stupid can you be? We know that this woman, what this woman is, that she's pretending to be something like that she ain't. And it was the second biggest loss since Reagan Mondale. The biggest margin since Reagan Mondale. And it was a European American said, hey, y'all could be fooled that easy. No way we're voting for her because we see what she is. So and it's like, and it's like, how do you look at people that were so easily fooled in the masses? They were fooled in mass numbers. How do you even comprehend how so many people could be fooled? And the people still fearful, still very fearful. That's all you see on Facebook is just fear, 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 fear. Even though they've lost, they still want to put that fear out there. I mean, this thing is always just a 2-year thing. We got the midterms in 2 years. And remember, Obama went in the same way. Oh, but that's why we can't give Obama any excuses. When Obama, I think his first 4 years, he had everything. The trifecta, just like Trump got now. And then Obama's bailing out the banks, bailing out the car companies. And that's when everybody switched sides. They're like, yeah, we're going to check this power. Now, on the other side of the thing, America's changing. Just like why they want this abortion thing, they ain't really got the numbers. Now, we know we can't really believe the voting numbers. You know, how many people they say in America, we can't really believe that. They undercount the melanated people and they overcount the Europeans. We know that. We know. When you out places, you can see it ain't as many Europeans as they say. I go out to Mall of America where it's always minimum 35,000 people. And it's more than half of melanated folks in this state. And this ain't a lot of melanated people. Most of the melanated people live around here. Motherfuckers say they wasn't letting no hoes rule the world. A lot of these chicks around the way mad. Oh, what did they say? The end of black girl magic. That's the funniest one. The end of black girl magic. That's why I wrote, where are the chucks and pearls? Remember they were so happy? Oh, I got me some pearls. I got me some chucks. Again, she ain't one of y'all. What are you celebrating? And what did she say when she got sworn in? I am the first Asian American. That's what she said. There was no Asian African American, which she could never say. Her daddy and mama was both Indian. It's just her daddy was what happened is when, you know, remember England took over India. They conquered India. And what they did is they brought slaves from India to Jamaica. Now, what you have to understand is they killed, like what happened to Jamaica is they killed almost all the people on Jamaica, all the people in Haiti. They killed these people. And this made them, they worked them to death. Especially in the Dominican Republic where they had the silver mines, because the first cash crop in South America was silver. Now, on the East Coast, it was tobacco, but not in Mexico. Mexico, we were the #1 producers of silver in the world. This is what the first thing that the first thing they really made money off of was silver. And the amounts of gold they took out of America, I mean, that's why Europe owes us money too, was astronomical. I got to find that. I got one of my books that told, I wasn't even looking for it. It was just in the book and it told the amount of gold. Because when they try to say, they say Columbus didn't take gold, but Cortez did. And who was the one after Cortez? They took a lot of gold out of America too. So that's why Europe owes us money as well. And that queen over in England, that family owes us money as well. That the reparations should come from all them people. Spain, France too, because Napoleon, them people, and all the money they made them take Haiti, they's like, okay, Haiti, you got the most resources in the world, but if we blockade you, you can't get out, nor are we gonna let shit get in. So they blackmailed and they forced Haiti to pay them reparations for overthrowing them. They knew they couldn't win on land, so they used their navy to stay off and wouldn't let them trade with the world. Hell, from 1900 to 1928, 29, American occupied Haiti. Did y'all know that? America occupied Haiti for about 19 years. 19 years. America put in Papa Doc, Baby Doc. They want that country destabilized because they want that a reminder that if you overthrow us, we'll never let that country go. Well, that country's gonna have hard times. It's like with this country, if this country gets beat, look at what they want to be done to this country. I've said before, they showed a movie Civil War and all that. They would rather destroy the country, excuse me. They would rather destroy the country, and I say this almost every time I come on, than give it up. They would rather destroy it. These super rich people would try to poison the water, and they probably, right now they say the reason that they have GMO foods because they poison all the land. And they had to discover a type of food that would grow in this shit that they've already poisoned. I read a report that said all the land been destroyed since the 70s. And that's the real reason why they use GMO foods. Because shit won't grow. Oh, I forgot to bring my pills in here. Take my pills. And already they've poisoned the air, poisoned the water. When I was a child, the water never tasted nasty out the sink. Now, you can't drink that shit. You can take showers and it won't break you out. You can brush your teeth with it, but you ain't drinking that shit like you're drinking this bottled water. And if you don't cure the bottled water, you have to beware of that. That's why I cure it with shungite. I put all the bottled water in my jar I showed y'all of shungite. I don't know. I'm going to switch topics. So dude was talking about minerals. I follow a guy that talks about minerals. And, I've pushed She Legit. And I can't say, I've been taking She Legit probably since 17. Yes, for 7 years. I think I've been taking it pretty consistently for 7 years. And let me tell you one thing. You don't need them blue pills. You don't need them pills to get your shit working. That shit helps. Now, I'm an old pimp and I got no problem. I can always get it up, just can't get it in. That's an old joke. But if you take She Legit, it is good for that. It is really good. It'll have you waking up like when you 14, 15. Every day your shit be like, that testosterone will be there every day without taking a natural mineral. So he's talking like, all my clients say they stop taking it and they feel better. Well, the men stop taking it. That shit, see how your drive is. You stop taking it. So there's some things to consider. That's all. But I'm all for eating healthy and all that, And I know, the world is divide and conquer. Oh, it's supposed to snow till 4 a.m. I don't think it's snowing right now. Can't tell. And that's the like quantum of science is, this motherfucker's really a racist motherfucker too. He's racist and he hates Killer of the Flower Moon. He's like, oh, not again, the evil European. Well, I can't even watch Killer of the Flower Moon. I can't even watch it. It's so hurtful to watch. To watch an action. I can watch my ancestor get killed in glory. He's being brave. He's in the battle. But that Killer of the Flower, like Emmett Till, I couldn't watch that again. And it's the theme, and the theme shows the truth. that it appears like what did Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X say? Not some, but all. Not some, but all. I mean, that's from their influence. Oh, I was about to say, I've been taking She Legit and been like, damn, added on to one of the superpowers. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm 63, y'all. It ain't that, like I said before, when I ask you when the last time you got some, I ain't like, let me see the calendar here. That shit's helpful. I'll say that. I'm scared of taking them other pills because that motherfuckers. I had a friend that took a. I told the story before about the motherfucker that said that, he was waiting for this girl and he took a pill and she didn't come. So she didn't come to him. So she called him back, said, I'm on his way. So this nigga took another one. And he said he was in the middle of the downstroke and this nigga had a heart attack. And they had to come in and shock him. And then he was like, oh, it didn't come back on. He's trying to tell him, no, I'm okay. And they shocked his ass again. He said that shit hurt like a motherfucker. What did G Money say? He said, that's Shaniqua. He's like, did you hit it? He's like, I hit it, but I didn't hit it the way I wanted it. I didn't hit it like I wanted to hit it. Funny shit, y'all. Just comedy. I think I'm a realist. You're talking about the Windsor family in England. Oh, absolutely. Them Germans. Those are Germans. The Windsors are Germans. They changed their names. They just as bad as the Rothschilds. I mean, when they talk about them people that it might not be real people, and they some of the biggest landowners in the world, if not the biggest landowner in the world, is that family. I know when she was alive, that witch was alive, she was the biggest landowner in the world. So she more than likely still is. The family, but them German people that conquered. Like they tied themselves back to what was his name? The dude from France that came from Normandy and he was French, but his daddy was English. And later these German folks married into that family. So they're Germans. That's why I talked about before. You can look up the Nazi, the royal Nazi. I've showed him before. So they was Nazis. You can see them pictures of Queen Elizabeth when she's throwing up the Nazi sign. They was with that shit when what was it, George, the one they made step down, when he was king, they was with them Nazis. Because them is his people. He was German. They were Germans. And they still are today. They're of German descent. They're a German family that got help to conquer England and got defeated by the parliament. Let's keep that in. And that's what's unbelievable about them. What war lets the king keep his money and keep his property? They didn't take nothing away but the power to govern. That's all parliament did to them. Didn't take their bread, didn't take their property. Now, where does that happen? When you overthrow a country, you definitely take their bread and you definitely take their property. Parliament does none of that. Oh, you can be a figurehead, and we're still going to have you where you have a vote in Parliament. That shit don't seem real. It don't seem real at all. Never in the history of conquest have you let a motherfucker keep his land and keep his bread. Look it up yourself. Look up how Parliament defeated the king and what happened to them afterwards. Look all that up yourself. How long have I been going? I've been blabbing long enough. But also, life is good. Like for me, life is good. I'm joyful. It's not that I'm not. I go down history and you have to look at it and it makes you feel a certain kind of way. Now, it may be hard for Europeans to understand that. And it's not victimism. It's factism. It's facts of what happened and how this country was occupied and overthrown, taken over. I mean, what do you think reservations were for? So we know where all y'all are. So you can't attack us from just anywhere. We have to keep you together. Same way as the ghettos. We you know, when, okay, you're not going to be in the South where y'all all spread out. We're going to send you north, keep you together. And if I said many, many times, how is it that almost all the black folks in the country live on the north side? Don't you notice, like, even when these immigrants come, they want them in one area. Like all these Somalians here, they live kind of this side of the river. Kind of hard to say where the place it is trying to think. But yeah, I think my side of the river. Yeah, still there on, yeah, because Saint. So they relocate like all the Hmong they brought here from Vietnam. You know, the Chinese that were in Vietnam, Hmong. They brought all them here. So he talking about they hate Chinese, but they brought them Chinese people from Vietnam that was working against the Viet Cong. The mountain yards is the same. They brought mountain yards to America. A lot of mountain yards end up going in Michigan. Mountain yards, Burmese people, I think that's what they're called. The black looking people in Asia. The mountain yards look just like Americans. Curly hair, dark, yeah. But the Hmong is all in St. Paul in one neighborhood. And this is how, you know, they want you pinned up. So it's easy to come get you of a crime and they say it's one of them. They go to your neighborhood and start looking for you. Let me see. Did Cleveland lose again? PJ, did Cleveland lose Tuesday? Did they lose? Was it Boston they played Tuesday? Did they lose? I'm trying to see. Because I know Cleveland, they won 15 in a row. Did they lose Monday? It would have been Monday night they lost, right? Because it's Tuesday going on. Well, it's Wednesday going on Thursday. No scores. Let's see. Incredible Journey is getting ultimate. LeBron brings iconic 22 South Beach. Ooh, we need to see these. Continue story. Oh, what are these? Shoe war number 20 Los Angeles. Seen warm-ups before. These are LeBron 22s, but these, man, he's just making this shoe ugly. Okay, that's patent leather. But man, this shoe is ugly. This shit ain't gonna match nothing. That is one ugly shoe. I don't even like them. What is these? Also grew to include his first training shoe. What about these? They only lost to Boston. Okay, so they lost to Boston. They did lose. I was watching that. So they did lose to Boston. Okay, so they was 15-1 after Boston. Okay, I was wondering about that. These are some ugly motherfuckers. Boy, they even look ugly on him. Look how ugly these motherfuckers are. Great shoe, though. I'll say that. I'll say it's a great shoe. I ain't even tried it on, but I see the way it's made. I know it's comfortable. I know it's comfortable. Okay. And then gold is still kicking ass. It's not up to 2,700, but it's up to 2,600. It's up to 2,600. So just made $20 more again, but anything over 2,500 is gravy, y'all. I think I said that before. Bitcoin. I mean, if y'all ain't got Bitcoin, I don't know what to tell you. How fast it went from 67,000 to almost 100,000 per coin. 100,000 per coin. And if you have Cash App and you open a Bitcoin account, get a separate wallet to put that Bitcoin in. Do not trust Cash App Bitcoin. Don't trust that. Get your own wallet to put your bread in. So, and Ethereum is still affordable. Now, dog, they don't show dog. Where's dog at? Huh. Wonder why they don't show it. Tether is only $1 still. The US is only $1. The BNB is 600. So, and they want to make Bitcoin strong because they want the negative about all that is they know exactly what you got all the time. So there's no more, it'll cut out almost all hustling because they're going to, know how much money you got all the time. And if you get beyond that or showing beyond that, how they come after the dope money. Well, at least the dope money, they got to come and take it from you. And if you could hide so much, but this, they can just, one hit of a key, it's gone. That's how they could paralyze you. If they deem that the way you got that bread ain't yours, they could penalize you and just wipe it out. And that's why they don't want cash. Because if you invest in gold or other things, you can kind of hide money from them. They can't really all the time devastate you. You can find something. Well, guys, I'm going to have to crash. I forgot to take my meds. I know I need to take it. I'm not sure if I'm coming on tomorrow. Not sure. Just depends on how late I get home and how I feel. If I feel into, getting up and getting, when I come home, if we go to movies, if I just watch football, then I got nothing to report. But if I go to the movies, I'll come and do a thing on the movie. So just look at it like if I don't come on tomorrow night around midnight-ish, then I didn't go to the movies. If I do come on, I'm going to give them movie review and I'll philosophize. I will philosophize. Now look, I don't hate anybody out there. I judge each people by their own merit and how they treat me and interact with me. Now, I pay attention to what folks do. I am perfectly imperfect. How I burned out my incense. I've been going almost 2 hours and a half. So they're only 3 hours in, so I've been burned that one out, but still smells